Hello, I am here with Gage Creech, a junior at Franklin College Swimming and Diving on the Franklin College Swimming and Diving team. He's a diver. Gage, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
All right, so let's just jump into the questions. So kind of take me through your recruiting process. How did you end up at Franklin College?
Well, I went to Franklin Community High School, so I always knew Coach Hendricks. And when it came to graduation time and thinking about wanting to compete outside of high school and on that next collegiate level, I looked at a couple different schools, but uh, probably the best recruiting that I gotten was from Coach. I'd done an overnight visit and I had gotten to know the team really well. And actually, most of the guys' team came to one of my diving meets. And that was probably the most meaningful bit that had happened with any schools that had reached out to me, just coming and showing that I actually care about my performance and wanted to be able to support, even if I haven't committed to the college yet. It was really nice and really heartfelt, and I really appreciated it.
Yeah. So, what do you think separates Franklin College men's swimming and diving team from other schools, would you say?
There's a lot. I guess I'll start with like the team atmosphere. I know one of my friends swims at a different collegiate or a different college, and he isn't really friends with a lot of the swimmers. I mean, they're kind of friends, and but it's just not the same. At Franklin, almost every weekend, the guys are hanging out, the guys are doing something. Some of us go fishing, some of us go bowling, top golfing, different things like that. And that's even out of season. So I'd say probably team atmosphere is number one. Number two is definitely training. Training, especially like a lot of the colleges that we compete against, I know they're not training as hard as the Franklin College swimming and diving team. Swimming and diving training is very different, but when it comes to morning practices, especially in the beginning of the year, we have morning swims, morning dives, we have morning weights, and that is typically 3 to 4 days a week, depending on the time of the season. And then sometimes we'll even have fitness center, which is basically like body weight and different aerobic exercises. And it's a lot of work. We put in a lot of hours, and at times when other teams may be sleeping, maybe uh, recovering from partying too hard, we're putting in the work and doing our thing so that when it comes competition time, you can really tell the difference. Another thing I would say is probably Coach himself. Coach Hendricks is fantastic, and he's for all the titles that he holds as the men's swimming and diving coach, the athletic director of the college. He's a very busy man, but he always has time for the swimmers and divers. If anyone ever wants to meet with him, go by his office. He'll always make time to be available, and it just goes to show that he cares about the team. He cares about his swimmers and divers, and he cares about the program.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad all that hard work paid off. So you
Thank
just had regionals for diving up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. How did that go?
That went really well. So we had the largest region out of all the regions in the nation. With on 1 meter, we had 30 guys diving, and on 3 meter, we had 27. I was going in. I know we got 10 allocations for nationals, and I was going in hoping to get top five because I thought that would set me up pretty well. But after my first few dives on the first day of competition on 3 meter, I was doing really, really well, and that kind of boosted my confidence for the last six. And I ended up getting third place on 3 meter with a 496. And 1 meter competition came the next day, and I matched my performance on the 3 meter and also went third place with a 456.9, I believe. But it did go very well. I was really happy to be able to spin that regionals. Three of our girls also made it: Faith, Carly, and Cameron, and they worked really hard. They all did really well at the meet, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to be able to put in the work or to show off the work that I've been putting in all season long and kind of display it on a higher level.
Yeah, so you kind of talked about the allocations. That meaning that made NCAA's for Division three. You never made it to NCAA's for Division three because during your freshman year, you COVID kind of messed that up a little bit. So, what are your thoughts finally making NCAA's, and what are your thoughts going into it?
My thoughts for finally making it. Honestly, my first thought was it's about time because COVID has completely screwed up the last 2 years. Like freshman year, I qualified and then they canceled it. And then last year, they didn't even hold regionals or nationals. So there wasn't even a chance to qualify. Uh, I'm very, very excited. I'm even more excited that now, at least my first year being able to actually travel and compete, I'm in a way better position athletically and like diving list wise than I was my freshman year. And my scores have on the 1 and 3 meter have kind of shown that. I'm very excited, and going into it, I'm going to do what I always do. I don't really pay attention to the competition going into it. I just show up knowing that I need to dive the way that I usually do, and that will because I'm not diving against anyone else. I'm diving against myself. However, everyone else dives doesn't affect me. If I do the dives I do and I know how to do them well, I will place exactly where I need to and let everything else fall where it may. So I'm going into it with really no expectations. I would love to place top eight. That's my ultimate goal. But I'm really just excited to finally be able to experience it and kind of get the nerves out from going for the first time. But it's really nice that it's at a pool I know because I've dove at IUPUI
Mhm.
freshman through senior year of high school at state. So might have a little bit of an upper hand there. But yeah, I'm just going in with no expectations, just a couple goals and hoping to meet those.
Yeah, that was actually my next question. I was going to talk about how since it's in Indianapolis, Franklin College is very close to Indianapolis. What other aspects of that home court advantage are you excited about?
Uh, Other than the fact that I know the boards pretty well, at least the 1 meter boards, I've never gone off their 3 meter boards. It's, I'm for example, like regionals, we had a super long drive, got back fairly late, and had to be up early in the morning to go to competition. This one, I'm going to be able to get plenty of sleep before each diving event, and be able to kind of relax and not have that stress like the travel and different things like that. And I think it's really cool that it's in Indianapolis. I'll be able to have some family and friends come, and mainly, I think the main thing is I'm not gonna have to get used to those boards. Every board's different, but a lot of them have certain aspects that I look for, and I know that I really enjoy those 1 meter boards, and I know that they have a very nice facility, so the 3 meter boards will be just as good, and I'm not gonna have to worry about trying to readjust to a new board or do things like that. It's gonna be I'll be able to recognize it very well. And I think that'll give me a little bit of an advantage so that I don't have to spend the early bit of warm up adapting to that board and kind of changing my approach. I can just get on and do my stuff and uh, just see where it goes.
Yeah. So obviously you're a very talented Division three athlete, and Division three is often overlooked as athletes that maybe couldn't go Division one, and I know you know that's not true. What kind of draws you to Division three as someone who kind of maybe chose not to go Division one for diving?
When I was being recruited, I was recruited by IUPUI, Ball State, and Franklin. Those were the three I was looking at. And this kind of goes back to the recruiting part of it. Whenever I stayed with at IUPUI, everyone was fantastic. They were really nice, but it wasn't the same as when I stayed at Franklin. The team was fantastic. The coaches care so much, and I'm not saying that anyone else doesn't, but it was just very different. And uh, also, I could compete at a level that. Uh, well, let me go back. I could. Uh, that's a tough question. Uh, So, what's the question again? My bad. I kind of blanked out on again.
What kind of draws you to Division three as opposed to Division one?
Oh, so Division three, I know that I have some some good skills, but Division three was a place where I felt like I could really shine. for example, like people who go, I had a kid that had beat me most or throughout all of high school, fantastic diver, next level. And I don't think I've seen anyone except for a couple people at the regional. And then I will see at the national level in Division 3 at that level. And he wasn't getting any competition time. He just could not dive because there were better kids who have been throughout their years have been homeschooled and dove, and they were just at a completely new level. They were training differently. They were training way more, and they kind of based their lives around diving, whereas my life was based around school and then diving. So uh, I'd say that's probably the main thing that drew me to Division 3 is a place I could shine and I could actually be able to compete consistently and score points for the team. Because at some Division 1 schools, you wouldn't be able to do that. And I wanted to be able to be somewhere where I could contribute and not just be, oh, he's one of the divers and not one of the ones that scores for us.
Mhm. Most definitely, that's a great answer.
Thank you.
What would you say to someone who is kind of teetering between like choosing Division 1 or Division 3? Like, what would you say to them, um, in like support of like a Division 3 school over a Division 1 school?
Probably just recognize what you want. If you want like what I did, the team atmosphere to have like brothers for life, then definitely go Division 3. I'm not saying that anyone that goes to a division school it wouldn't be like that, but it was definitely the case for me. I meshed so well with the people here, and I'm in a first name basis with many of the people at the college. But the team is who I hang out with. The team is who I spend my weekends with, and it's just I don't think I would be having the same experience at a Division 1 college. Everyone is, especially on a smaller team where there's not a couple hundred people on the team. Everyone gets to know each other really, really well, and it's just a lot closer knit. And for example, like a couple of our team members, at least in the past, alumni have gotten married, and they've had other swimmers as their best men. And I know for a fact that I'm going to be at quite a few weddings of my boys. Who are doing their thing in the pool right now, and whenever they're out, they'll be getting married, and I'm going to be there. It's close knit. These would be my best friends for the rest of my life. And if you really want to go somewhere where you're going to meet the people that you're going to just spend essentially the rest of your life with after college, that you're going to be your best friends, I would go Division 3, 100%.
Great answer. So my last question is, what do you think the future of Franklin College swimming and diving is? What would you like to see?
What would I like to see? I would love to see a new pool. I think that we are one of the hardest working teams on campus. We put in a ton of hours. We have the longest season, and I think that this team, and even years before I've been here, the work ethic has been the exact same. I think that we've proven ourselves, and it would be fantastic to get our own facility. I would like to see more diving equipment like dry ropes and dry boards and things like that. I think that could help out a lot. I'm going to be helping out Ty on the recruiting side on the men's diving and hoping to bring some more people in because I'm a junior this year and we have one freshman and one sophomore. And there's two junior men diving. And I'd like to see hopefully a little bit more depth on the team. I know that we have a really close knit community, but adding a couple more won't hurt, and it'll get us a couple extra points and keep us in competition with some of the bigger schools that we'll be facing. Because I know that we're hoping to face some really big schools next year and have a little bit tougher competition when it comes to just dual meets throughout the season. But yeah, I'd like to see the team grow and kind of evolve into because we are a fantastic program right now, but I think that we can be bigger and even more dominant in the pool than we have before. And I would like to see that happen, even if it's not in my time. I'd like to see it happen when I'm gone because I'll still be supporting the program. And I just know what this team can be, and if we have people that we recruit that think the same way that we do, we want to win, then it's going to be a fantastic program. And look out for Franklin if we end up getting bigger and getting stronger.
Yeah, I love to hear it. Well, Gage, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me.
No problem. Thank you for having me.